They can't duplicate you. They can't nobody replace you. You're too damn amazing, grateful, nothing to play. It's the way that you love. Take control.
What's going on, my boys? What's going on, my boys?
I'm feeling for everything you be so good.
How y'all doing? I hope y'all staying safe. Make sure COVID-19 is not getting onto your household. We out here. Make sure y'all washing your hands. Make sure y'all covering your faces. Make sure y'all staying 6 feet away from each other. Social distancing. Social distancing is very important, guys. Let's stop this spread. Let's keep each other safe. Let's become a team, guys. Shout out to the hair physician. We got a great interview for you today. We talk some amazing things, some inspirational things. We got a great guest for you today. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, my Royals? How y'all doing? How y'all doing on this beautiful, beautiful night? Even though we got COVID-19 out here trying to take over, we are not going to let it take over because we're going to do our due diligence in making sure we stop the spread. So join us here at the DaRoyalCouch and making sure we stopping the spread. Stay 6 feet away from each other with social distancing. Make sure if you do not have to go out, you do not go out. If you do not have to go out, you do not go out. One more time. If you do not have to go out, do not go out. Please, guys, please, please, please. It is getting serious. It is getting real out here. So make sure we do our parts by doing our jobs by staying in the house. Okay, guys? Okay? Now, without further ado, I want to introduce my guest, our beautiful guest. She is so talented. She is motivational. She is inspiring. She is an author. She is a motivational speaker. She goes out here and spreads love, support. She does a lot, not only for the women out here, but she does a lot for the entrepreneurship, for us people out here trying to strive and make a big difference for each other, for ourselves. So without further ado, I want to introduce our guest, Miss Dr. Pamela G. I'll bring her up here so we can talk about some things.
Hey!
Hey, love.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am phenomenal.
Good. I'm so glad. It's good to see you again.
I know. I wish it could have been on better circumstances and I could have been there, but this whole social distancing and...
Yes. But you know what? Once this whole craziness goes away, we'll make sure we set up an in-studio interview too, where we can kind of be here, interact face-to-face, and get more going. So that'll be lovely. Yeah, definitely. So how we like to do it here is we like to kind of introduce yourself, get to know you before you got to the point now. So, at this point, let everyone know where they can find you at, if you have a website, all that good stuff.
So I can be found at www.iamdrpgurley.com, which is iamdrpgurley.com, and on all social media, both Instagram, Facebook, all major platforms at I am Dr. P. Gurley, IAMDRPGURLEY. It's kind of streamlined everything. So I can be found under the same name. On all platforms, from Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok right about now, and even YouTube.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
That's good because, I think that's one thing where people mess up at is they want this name for this site, this name for that site, that name, and it doesn't keep that consistent flow to where we can just find you. At least with you, under one name, you find all your social media.
That's right.
So I think that's definitely great as far as business strategy and making sure that, your content and your, the amazing things that you produce is, seen. Definitely. So, before we get started to who you are now, explain to us who Dr. Pamela was before? Who were you before you even got the doctor title? Was this your strive your whole life to get into this industry, to be an author, to be a speaker? Like, what was your dreams, and are you achieving your dreams now?
So my dreams and God's dreams were two different things. No, I did not.
That's right.
I really never thought that I would be an author. No, I've always written. I've written poetry. I've written a bunch of other stuff, content. Me writing an actual book, never really been my thing. And it just so happened to other people influence the writing. I would say in terms of me writing a book, as I was speaking, a lot of people would say, do you have a book? Because when you motivate people and you're sharing your story and you're sharing your struggles and you're just giving life real raw and real rare of yourself, people want to connect. And in those connections, people wanted more. And at the time, I was writing, but I wasn't taking it that serious. As in, I would blog about different things that I would go through, and I'm very honest and transparent about it. But people wanted a book. And I decided one day, it just manifested that write this book. And I was able to just sit down and pour my heart out. It was therapy. But that's how I became an author. I also, co-authored and wrote other little things. Like I had published poetry years ago. I mean, talking years and years and years, way back before I even thought of publishing a book. I've had opportunities to write chapters in other motivational books, and I've done that. But writing on your own is a whole different animal. And so I was able to do that, yes, at being Dr. Pamela Gurley now. But if I have to go back to who I was before, I've always been driven. I've always had that mindset to do more, do something. I've never been fearful about stepping out there to trying things that presented itself to me. And I'm very blessed in that. I started out in behavioral health, but apparently that wasn't where I was supposed to stay.
Right.
But in terms of academia, the only reason I wanted to achieve a doctorate is because I've always looked at life after everything else, and I wanted to contribute to society. And the only way you can really teach at every academic level is if you have a doctorate.
I know that's right. You better get it. That's beautiful, because it lets us know that no matter what, no matter where we feel like our lives are going or where we feel like, we're placed, God can change it like this and let you know that this is the path that you're supposed to be on. And all of those steps to right before that change was necessary for that change. So for you, did you feel like being in your other field helped you be able to, gravitate and be able to, attach to people's hearts? Now, is that kind of what helps you kind of dive into people's souls? Because, I've heard you speak, of course, before this, I've done my research, but, meeting you, in person, and I've heard you speaking, at engagement, and personally meeting you, your essence overflows. Your inspiration overflows. So does that come from your previous life of your own, professional life?
It does. I'm a firm believer if you go into the field of psychology and that's your passion, I've always been very passionate about it, you naturally gravitate to human behavior and the sociological standpoint of a lot of things, the way people react, the way they're socialized, so your mindset and how you deal with people will always be different. I think that's what makes me an effective mentor. This is why I can be very transparent, because I know what it's like to feel like you're the only person, or you think that, or that you go through these situations. I mean, even I'm very honest and transparent about, overcoming domestic violence and accepting my responsibility in those areas. I feel like if I can be completely transparent and honest about my struggles, about identity, and, identity is in, if you're multiracial, you see my hair is curly. There's a stigma out there that you have to be, that you're different, or what are you mixed with, or why do you have to, aren't you black? Why don't you like black things? Those kind of things affect the psyche. And I grew up in an age before social media was really rampant, and kids were still cruel. So imagine right now where the social media is where everybody is flocking. My mindset is that I want people to live their authentic truth and not buy into what social media or media in a whole say you have to be, that you have a right not to be boxed in. So when I'm touching people and I'm being honest, it does have a lot to do with before, my current career now, which is, financial management and budget and entrepreneurship and helping businesses build themselves and management. But my heart and my passion will always be that the psychological piece that my life started off with.
I feel like I feel it in this interview, because even the way you talk it now, I don't know if you see, I got this thing on my show where I don't know how it started, but I got this thing where I do this little church sway, and I felt it coming. I felt it coming as you're talking. I'm like, yeah, like I feel it. I love that. I love the passion. You can get the passion in your voice. You can see it oozing out of your pores. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing, especially in times that we're in now, to see the positivity, to see the support that we still have people like yourself still striving to do amazing and beautiful things out in this world, and not only for yourself, but for others. That's beautiful, which leads me into my next thing, which is your book, I Am Not a Stereotype. That title alone is impactful. It tells not only your story, but it tells so many different stories. With that title alone, so many people will pick it up just off the shelf, because that title gravitates to so many different scenarios, so many different situations, so many different topics that, that's a brilliant title. So starting off with your title, where did that inspiration come, and where does that book lead us once we pick it up?
So the title comes exactly as it states. I am not a stereotype. On the surface, yes, you see a Black woman, but what you fail to realize is I'm not that stereotypical Black woman, and I refuse to be boxed in to be that. That whole stereotype, Black women are angry or they're bitter, or all these different stereotypes that are out there about Black women. And I felt like it's too much, that all the things that we go to, but I also realized we're resilient, and that's a threat. We can make things happen. And so, yeah, you can say what you want about us, but if nothing else, we are going to thrive, no matter how we feel about ourselves. But I just think we needed to move beyond that. And in order to realize our true and authentic selves, we can't buy in to the drama that's out in the world of saying that, oh, you're a Black woman, so you're this, or you're a Black woman, so you're that. We have to work harder, because so many people want to be like us that we lose who we are. And so we have to really, truly move beyond all of those stereotypes so that the world feeds into us and our young girls. So we have to start setting the example for the younger girls that's growing up. And we got some strong young girls out here, but we also have broken women out here who aren't doing the things that they should be doing, because society has pushed them down so much that they've lost who they are. They're the ones that's toxic. They're hanging around toxic. They're continuing to influence toxic. We got to change that. And in order to move out that toxic space, we have to grab a hold of who we are. And it's not going to be anything that anybody else say that we are. And until we own that, and until we own that truth about ourselves, can we start making those changes and those shifts in our own culture, especially in terms of colorism and other things in our community. And I've talked about a lot of how we feed our community is what's fed out of our community. And we need to start shifting that focus to be more positive for us.
Yes. You better... Let me tell you something, guys. She knows her stuff, man. Make sure y'all go over and get... Where can people, before we continue talking about the book, where can people purchase your book at?
So if you go to www.imdrpgirly.com/shop, you can pick up my book right there. But you can also get it on, Amazon, Nook or Amazon. What is it? Kindle. You can get it on Barnes and Noble, Nook. You can get it on iTunes, iBook. It's on all of those platforms for anybody if you want to read. But the only way you can get the physical copy is through my website, and that's only because Amazon marks my book up, and I'm not really happy about that. So I decided to take it off of there and only offer it where I can offer it at the lower price that I want it set for. Plus, I also autograph every book, and I take pleasure in autographing with a special message and a signature every book that leaves my office.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing. You're amazing. Honestly, you're amazing. And I think we need to not only tell ourselves or not tell our fellow people, but we need to make sure that we tell our strong Black women on a daily that you're amazing. And I think that we need that, because to be honest, I've always said the strength of the world comes from our women, because our women knows how to endure, all. A woman knows it, and I hate to be a stereotype, but a woman embraces all. You got the motherly aspect, you got the business aspect, you guys run the world in retrospect. You really do, and I think we don't tell our women enough that you're amazing, that you're strong, that you keep us up, that you keep the world moving. And I just think that, for the people that are watching and for the future people that are going to watch, make sure if it's one thing you do is tell that woman that's in your life that she's amazing, because she is. She definitely is. So with more in your book, is it more on, because I know you speak on, I'm not your stereotype. So is it more based off of your life experiences, or is it general life experiences based off of, family, friends, and just outpour of the world?
Okay, so my book is broken down into 3 areas. One is my journey, because I think people need to understand what got me till I am now. But even in my own journey, people will start to look at their life. And it's very conversational in that aspect. It's as if you and I are having a conversation right now, or you're having a conversation, somebody else is having a conversation with their girlfriend. That it's that reflective even in my journey, because so many people, and I've been told, I can't believe you gave that much up about yourself, or you were so honest. Yeah, I am. The second half is my thoughts, and then the third part is my perspective. And all of them is just it's not a long book, but it's not a short book either. But it's so introspective. And so when I talk about my thoughts, I talk about my thoughts about colorism, about fitting in, I have a chapter called Black Girl Magic versus Black Girl Failure.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. I talk about all of those. I talk about a lot of different things. And it's like seeing the world from my perspective. But it's an honest and true perspective, and how the world feeds us. And one of the things that I talk about is being angry. Angry is a natural emotion. And I'm not, being racist or anything, but white men have been angry for a long time, but they don't have a stereotype against them. But a Black woman can turn a man down in a club, and guess what? Well, what's your problem? Why are you mad? I don't have to be mad.
Right.
And so I talk about all of these things. And I'm not saying that there are no bitter women or no angry women or angry Black women out there, but every woman is angry. Every woman gets bitter. We are all filled with emotions and hormones, and the world needs to accept that we are just like any other, woman, nationality that's out there. And they not look at us because of the color of our skin. And then even in our own community, we look at, there's a difference between light-skinned women and dark-skinned women. And I have nieces that are on all, spectrums of the color. And I don't want anybody judging them because of the color of their skin, especially in our community. If we can't protect our own, we can't expect somebody else out there to protect us either.
You better say that again.
So
you are so right about that.
I did. I found the value in putting my story out there, because I know what it did to me. I've always excelled academically. I've always excelled professionally.
Right.
But
you get to talking.
Okay, my personal life, on the other hand, when it came to love and me really connecting with people, I wanted to be something for someone else that I could never really know who I was. And until I took a step back to learn who I was and put myself on that pedestal, which is a chapter in my book called The Pedestal Philosophy, all the things that I was thinking that I realized were so toxic. And the same energy you give out, you get in. So, everything that I was attracting wasn't good for me because I wasn't good for me. And until I made that shift, until I made that shift, did anything in my life really hold as much value? And all the accolades in the world don't touch shit when you're broken.
Baby, I don't know if y'all listening the way I'm listening, but guys, when I tell you she is dropping gems, she is dropping gems. When I tell you, this is how you go and head on your way, on your journey to your success. And like she said, it doesn't matter the accolades itself, the what the success is, but success it varies in so many different ways. Versus success could be money for someone else, but it can just be prosperity for someone else. It can just be that house. It could be that job. It could be so many things. Success is so many things. But how you're speaking right now, what you're talking about, in tuning with yourself, learning who you are deeply, not surface level, where it's like, okay, my favorite color is purple and I love this. I'm talking about getting to know yourself.
Yes.
Will put you on this journey to real life success, to what God's path is, not your own. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And I really, really hope that people are listening. Now, I know you keep going into this whole, you are honest and you are always yourself, right? And I know you have this brand where you're unapologetic by Dr. G.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that a little bit, right? Because I can hear it in your tone, and it's not angry, it's empowerment.
Okay.
You know, and the unapologetic is I hear it, I feel it. And I accept it in a positive way. Where does that brand come from, other than the obvious passion that you have?
It's all me. It literally is. It's everything I stand for. And so when I was thinking of this brand, and I put the @ symbol as the A in unapologetic, the @ symbol stands for at life, at love, at all things me, because I don't want just to say I'm unapologetic, because it's too broad. Everybody's unapologetic, but at what? Really, if you have to look and you draw down and you talk about, oh, I'm so unapologetic, okay, it doesn't to me have the same meaning, because the same people walk around and they say that they're unapologetic, but it's one-sided or it's two-sided. Mine is multidimensional. It's at life, because all of my life I just want to be transparent. At love, because I don't care how many times I've been hurt and by whom, I'm going to be who I am, because at some point what I have to offer to somebody is going to come back to me, trifold, in a multitude. And then, from a spiritual standpoint, I mean, come on, in order to give out, you have to give in. And if you're a child of God, you're going to be used. And so you're going to have to work in your purpose. So to me, that's at life. And then at all things me, everything and about my life that I want to be just who I am and not be boxed in. And I don't care how anybody feels about me. I don't care what anybody say. Validation starts with me. Validation ends with me. I'm going to always celebrate myself. I'm going to clap for myself. I'm going to, celebrate on my own. I'm going to date myself. I'm going to be good to me, because that's the same energy and expectation I have outside of me. That's when I say I sit on my pedestal and I'm going to continue to rock for me. So anything and anybody that comes and goes, I'm accepting. Rain, hail, sleet, snow, whatever, I'm accepting. And that's what my...
Baby, I'm about to get up and shout when I tell you. When I tell you I love this. I love this. I love talking to you. I love everything that you're about. I love this. I think that, it's one thing being a speaker, being an author, being a mentor, but it's another thing for living those things, if that makes any sense. It's one thing, to clock in, hey, I'm going to go to the speaking engagement, I'm going to go talk, and I'm going to go lead. It's one thing to write a book, put it out there, and then just go about your business. You know, it's one thing to pick up a phone. Yeah, girl. Yeah, I'll help you out, blah, 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 and hang it up and just be about your business. But when you live it the way you are, it comes out even through a conversation. You know what I mean? You're doing all of these things. You're speaking, you're writing, you're mentoring, all throughout just a conversation just having with you. That's when you know you're living in what you're doing. You know, when it comes out 24/7, when you're unapologetic, 24/7, like you said, when it's not just one side, when it's multidimensional, when you don't turn it on and off, when it doesn't only work in your favor. I love this conversation because I really feel like it's going to help so many women, not only women, but so many people, because us as men need to take the same advice that we heed to our women to become better men.
Though? Isn't it exhausting being something different? Or it's almost as if you can't live in your truth and you got to use all of this energy to dress up and be somebody that you're not. To me, that's just too much energy. I'd rather lay it all out. And if you are my friend, you're going to just understand that, I'm entitled to how I feel. I'm going to respect how you feel. If I hurt you, it's never my intent to hurt people. But at the same time, I'm not going to hold it back. And so when you have genuine people in your corner, you don't have to fake or pretend or anything else. I mean, I would tell most people, I don't wake up in the morning. I'm too lazy to put on makeup, so no, I don't wear it. I love my wash and go because it's just easy. I take the simplified life out, and I'm completely fine with that. And I've had people say, "Well, you can at least wear makeup for this or dress a certain way for this." I'm like, no, thank you. When I want to be cute, I'm going to be cute. When I don't want to be cute, I'm cute anyway. So
That's how
I feel.
Yes.
I don't need to be defined by makeup and expensive clothes and expensive shoes and all of this stuff that appeals to the world. I'm just who I am. And that's what I also let people know. I'm very upfront when people say, "Oh, Dr. Girl," I'm like, "Yeah, you can just call me Pam." Because that's who I am. I don't wear education on my sleeve. I don't wear titles on my sleeve. I've accomplished a lot, but I'm no different from anybody else. I'm never going to be different from anybody else. I can go down in the hood and let's hang out, and I can go to, a red carpet event and rock it that way too. I'm just versatile. I can be that chameleon, and they are all facets of me, and I don't have to be fake about it.
I know that's right. You better teach her. You better teach. I hope y'all got your notebooks and pens out, because when I tell you she is dropping them, she is dropping gems. I love it. I love it. I love it. And you have accomplished a lot. And I want to say congratulations, but I also want to say, by me, we talked about the unapologetic brand. We talked about your book, but we haven't talked about you being the CEO of Clark and Hill Enterprise. I mean, the list just stacks and stacks and stacks, which is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. I love the enthusiasm of you wanting to do this stuff, that you wanting to do.
Like, I have too much going on. Too much is
not always a bad thing. It's not always a bad thing.
Apparently, I have too many hours in the day. When I look at the different things of even the birth of Clark and Hill Enterprise, it was because I've always been writing content. I've always helped people out. The only thing I did was I made it a business because I'm looking and helping everybody else soar, but I'm not making any money from it. So you put a price tag on things, and people come to you when they genuinely want something. And I'm grateful that I've been able to help businesses and help people, change the way that they look at business. I mean, I have a doctorate in management, and I specialize in organizational development and change. So I know how to develop organizations. I know how to help organizations who are looking to thrive. And where they're falling short. And a lot of times it's something as simple as a business plan. It's like, what is your real vision for this business? And by the time I am done laying out all of these different things that should be done before you go into business, and so that you're not treating it like a hobby, it helps shape some things. And so me finding time for that, it's really, to me, it's another way to nurture, so that people are not afraid of competition, but if they go in and they're putting their efforts and their money and they really want something, I want to help them get there. I honestly do. I want them to get there.
I know that's right. Well, look, I'm all about support and I'm all about expanding too. So I might have to hit that contact up to get some advice and get some of your services.
It's ClarkandHillEnterprise.com. It's at ClarkandHillEnterprise.com. It's so just, and it's a content writing. And so for the most part, I'm thankful that I've built in a lot of different checklists, you know, a business startup checklist, a business plan checklist. I also have a questionnaire that I provide if I'm writing the business plan. It also comes with, like, you know, consulting hours. I like to get to know how I can help you because it's not my vision. It's other people's visions. And there's no one size fits all. And there's no specific template that you should go by. So you can go out on the internet and find all of these things, but it's not your business. And that's what I try to tell people. Let your plan be your own, but also don't be afraid of competition. I know some people that say, oh, this is so saturated. Look at the market. Change the market. We are in a world of technology where you can look at a much larger, but then you also have to consider a whole lot of other things. And so as I'm talking to businesses about how to effectively grow for sustainability, because it makes no sense for you to start a business and then a year later it's gone. And Clark and Hill this year in 2020 in October will be 3 years old. And it's been sustaining itself since the third month in. Yeah, so I'm blessed for that.
Oh, that's right. I love it. That's a beautiful thing, and you're right. I love the aspect of you, and I guess this goes back into knowing yourself, learning who you are, because I love that your life in everything that we talked about today, which is very successful by itself. You know, these accomplishments are amazing accomplishments by itself. You know, but with it all together, but it all still coincides with each other. I think that's when you finally are able to live in your truth. That's when you know you are living in your truth, when all your aspects of life kind of met and make sense together. I think that's a beautiful thing because not only do you help and almost save lives, really, you also help and save businesses.
Oh, that's what I always say. My doctorate, I'm like, I don't heal people. I heal businesses. That's my thing.
I know that's a beautiful thing. But you also do heal lives because you have to understand the things that you talk about, like just with your book alone and just the inspirational messages that you spill. You don't know if that one message is what changed that person's perspective on life, on their life, on living itself. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure there's many people that you have impacted, that you have changed their lives. So not only God bless you, but God bless the things that you do, and God bless the people around you that help you sustain your life, not only with yourself, but with others. I think that's a beautiful thing because even Superman needs help too sometimes, you know? So with that being said, because you're so strong and you help everyone else, who helps you or how do you get your refill? Because that's a lot of energy you're spewing out.
Yeah. You know what? I have an extremely strong support system. I'll just start with my mother, first of all. I mean, well, if I, of course, God, of course, because I would have nothing and I wouldn't be as talented as I am or have all of the, the energy if it was not for him. So I do I'm very faith-filled in that no matter what, I'm going to succeed. Next, my mother. Like, oh my gosh, my mother not only keeps me grounded, but that is literally my saving grace. There is nothing that I can't talk to my mother about. That's my best friend. I mean, and then my sisters, my oldest sister is an author as well. And then my youngest sister is a phenomenal mom. Both of them are phenomenal moms and has, helped me even be like, I'll call myself a momty. Like I'm a mother auntie to my nieces and nephews. And so I feel like although I have no biological children, I live and breathe. And the things that I do, I want it to be impactful for my nieces and nephews. And that matters to me more than anything because they are like my own children. And so they are really my constant feel. It's, I'm rewarded by seeing them. And then I have, 2 little pseudo grandbabies that I love dearly, that I get to see and spend time with. And they ground me as well. So, I have great friendships. I have people who celebrate a lot of things with me, but I also have important mentors in my life. And I have, just different people who encourage me and inspire me. And so I'm really blessed in that. So, I constantly get a feel, and I have a supportive partner too. So that's kind of the other good thing, is that, when someone is extremely busy and somebody that, doesn't mind that, you're going out and you're running 100 miles per hour, but also slows down for a date night and other important things, that keeps you grounded to say that, okay, you have to have some level of balance.
Right. Because people don't understand how important success is, beautiful and all of that, but nobody understands how much support is important to your success.
It really
support
is.
And energy. I believe I'm a wholehearted believer in energy, and the amount of help that you give out, the amount of creating that you're doing, the amount of contact that you have with individuals, people don't understand that that's really energy exhausting. That really feeds, when you're feeding other people your energy, you're literally doing that. You're giving people your energy. So it depletes from you. So you have to find that way to kind of restore it. So that's why I always tell people, make sure you find that support system. It doesn't have to be a village of people. It could be one person. It could be one thing. It could be the faith in God, but you need to have that support system that keeps you grounded and stable. I feel like that's an important part to someone's success.
Yeah, daily deposits.
Daily deposits.
If you're constantly having people withdraw, you need daily deposits.
Yes, people don't. I always say selfish is not always a bad thing. Selfish is only bad when you're keeping the things that you learn that can embrace life to yourself. But I think you have to be selfish in ways to where you're feeding yourself the same energy that you're giving out so much.
Oh, date yourself. That's what I was talking about. I date myself. I like going out and dressing up and taking myself out. That way I can disconnect from everything else, and then I can go and treat myself well. And, you date with intent. So I'm an intentional dater. And I think I was speaking about that when I was speaking at the Futurist Female, about the importance of just, you'll get dressed up to go hang out with your girlfriends, and you'll get dressed up to go hang out with your husband or your boyfriend. Dress up for yourself. Dine and dine yourself, and just go and do the things. Take yourself out on a picnic. Just really disconnect from the world and make that time for you, because that's your own personal deposits that you have to put back into yourself.
I like that. Shout out to Nico that's on the live. He says, he says a message says, slow down and give the time back to your support system. I think that's very important as well. Remember, feed the people that are feeding you.
Yes.
Never slap a hand, slap a hand away that's especially feeding you, because the people that love us, it's a chain reaction, it's a domino effect. It's the same business with you. The energy that you're giving someone else, you have to get that energy from someone else. That's the same person that's giving you, that support system that's giving you that energy is depleting their own energy to help you in your energy. So it's only fair to give it right back, so that the chain keeps going, so that there's an abundance of energy just out here that we're just recycling throughout each other, and it's just embracing us. It's giving us momentum. It's inspiring us. I think that's a beautiful thing.
And I'll also just say this also. Sometimes you have to sever ties that's restricting your flow. And what I mean by that is that, not all energy is good energy. And if you recognize that some of the energy that is around you is preventing you from growing, you need to have that gift of goodbye to sever those ties in order for you to get your oxygen back. Because there's a lot of people that will just suck you dry if that's what you let happen. And this is where I talk about, boundarizing yourself is so that the energy that you constantly give out, you don't lose that oxygen, because now all of a sudden somebody is bounding that peace and is stopping your, the flow of energy, for the right energy from coming in. And so we have to learn how to sever ties and be okay with it. And then nobody's saying that you have to stop loving a person. You just love them from afar, because at that time you have to still take care of yourself and get what you need in order to continue to grow. But I always tell people, if you aren't growing and you are not progressing, check your circle.
Oh, I love how you said it. I love how you said it, like gift of goodbyes.
Yeah, the gift of
because
goodbyes.
People don't realize that goodbye word is a hard thing, especially, and people like, oh, I drop people left and right. I don't care. If you're not with it, I drop you. But what if that's your mother? What if that's your best friend, your lover, your whatever? Not, like you said, not all energy is good energy. And sometimes you may have to cut off that line that you're like, wow, how am I supposed to cut that line off? That's so hard. So I love how you said gift of goodbyes, because it's a gift to learn how to say goodbye, especially for yourself.
Also, but see, here's the thing. When we talk about restriction, if it's genuine, it's not restricted. And so if somebody who really genuinely loves you and supports you 100%, they're not trying to restrict you from being great. And so that's what I mean. You have to be able to have that gift of goodbye to say, look, right now, I cannot do this. And we all have toxic family members that are stagnating our growth. But the only way that you are going to, be able to grow is if you sever that tie, even if it's for a moment, because we all need air to breathe. And I tell you what, you can't start a heart attack. You can't stop a heart attack that's happening if you don't do what you're supposed to do. And so if something is restricting your blood flow, I mean, I'm just being honest. What else are you going to do? And everybody, yeah. And so you have to learn to have that, even if it's a momentary gift of goodbye, to say, it's not a full goodbye, but I have to take care of me. Because at the end of the day, your life is not promised tomorrow, and a lot of stress that you carry can take your life faster than anything else.
You better talk on it. Look, oh my God. This has been so fulfilling. This has been so amazing. This has been so inspiring. I mean, you are a phenomenal.
Thank you.
Phenomenal. And I'm not even going to just say woman. You're a phenomenal person. You're a phenomenal human being. You really are. I want to say, first and foremost, God bless you with all your endeavors. And I want to let you know that this is only the beginning. Only the beginning. You know what I mean? And I also want to say thank you, because not only just for this conversation, because I do want to thank you for this conversation, because not only just for the interview aspect of it, but for fulfilling my heart, fulfilling my soul today. But I want to say thank you for the people that can't say thank you, that want to say thank you, that need to say thank you, that felt something today, and from previous speaking engagements, from reading your book, from going to your websites, from purchasing, from hearing you, from engaging with you. Just thank you, because you are, a portion of the world that helps to keep spinning. You are what lets us know that why this world is worth the survival, is worth saving, is worth going to the next day, because we still have people like you, like I, that's out here really trying to make a difference. And even if it's just one person at a time, or in your case, one page at a time, which are an amazing book, but honestly, I just really, really, really want to say thank you for just your amazing work, your amazing accolades, and just you being an amazing person, for real.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I'm thankful that you had me on. Like I said, I wish it could have been other circumstances where we could have been together, but I've been looking forward to this ever since I met you out in Charlotte. And so I'm just glad that we were able to at least start the conversation, so that on the next go round, that when I can be there in studio, that we'll, we can You go
Yeah,
deeper.
we'll get it out. It's gonna be. I definitely want to keep in contact with you because there's a lot of stuff that my mind. I'm a creator as well, so my mind, as I'm going, I'm jotting, I'm having my mental notes. I got a lot of stuff, and I got a lot of stuff that's in the future and stuff. So we'll definitely keep in touch.
Yes.
We'll definitely keep that going because there's a lot of God had introduced us for a reason. And we're gonna use that reason, and we're gonna rejoice in it. And when I tell you, we're gonna rejoice in it. So, is there anything that you would like to tell any of your supporters, people that are coming up behind you, a message you would like to leave your followers with?
Yes, for all my followers, I'm a firm believer, and I know it's very cliche, but, be that change you want to see and work towards it because, a dream does not work if you don't. Success can't be achieved if you don't do the work. And so, give your heart and do it fearlessly and without worrying about how anybody else feels. If you worry about failing, you're never going to take that leap. I'd rather fail. And as I've had to learn things along the way, but it's made me greater. And you have to use those failures that's going on in your life, not to stop your dream, but to work harder at it because, people don't become millionaires overnight unless you some chance win the lottery, then yay. But other than that, it takes a lot of work. I mean, and you see online about how hard Beyonce and all these other celebrities for a 30-minute show or an hour show or 2-hour show, months of practice. Trust me, it's hard. But anything that you want is worth having. And so then as far as my support system, I just want to, really say thank you to all of them, my mom, my sisters. And, I saw Nico on here, so I'm definitely going to say thank you to him. I have a phenomenal publicist who I honestly will say that is more like my friend now than my publicist. And I think that I love our friendship and how it's evolved. But when you have somebody that you work with so closely and they intimately get to know you, and I don't mean like sexually intimate, I mean like intimate details about your life, and they're able to see things, on camera, off camera, we're able to have discussions. That matters. And those relationships that you build professionally, leads me to people like you and connects you to a lot of people that are important to you. Oh, I see the Metro Cartel. Hey, I have to give it a shout out to them too, because a lot of my theme music, I actually use their music a lot, and I'm grateful for that. And so it's like a lot of people make me great. And so everybody who, like you said, if I didn't mention you, it's it's not a bad thing. It's not that I didn't want to, but I'm really, really grateful because of people like you and my followers and people who I touch, who I may not even recognize that I touched just from living my own authentic life.
That's beautiful, beautiful. Thank you again for this amazing, amazing interview. I want to let you know that, like I said, I'm rooting, I support, I am a fan, and I am a supporter. Because a fan and a supporter are two different things. Yeah. They are. So, but I am all of those things for you, with you. And honestly, I'm a champion for you. I want nothing but the best, honestly. You are out here changing the world, and I thank you for it. So, honestly, again, guys, this is Dr. Pamela G, and honestly, I'm in awe right now because I can't get enough. I'm so fulfilled. I really feel fulfilled. I feel mentally, physically, emotionally satisfied right now. And that's a beautiful thing. That's why I love my show, because I love my guests that I have on my show, because regardless if it's a reality star, an artist, or even someone inspirational like yourself, I always get something out of it. And this time, I feel like the world is really going to get something out of this, and just keep doing your thing and keep striving, because we are watching. I promise you, we are watching.
Thank you so much. I honestly appreciate, everything and everybody who tuned in and everybody that's going to watch. I'm a fan of everyone, and I hope to keep influencing people in a positive way.
Thank you, my love. Thank you. It was so nice to finally get this interview. I know we've been trying to work on this for a little bit now, but let me tell you guys, this is not the last you're going to see here on the Royal Couch. We have so much more that's going to happen with Dr. P. So stay tuned, man. Stay tuned. And make sure you go find yourself a copy of her amazing, amazing book.
Yeah, let's connect. Definitely.
Yes. Thank you again, love.
All right. Thank you so much.
Guys, how dope and amazing was that?